Hello, our little bambinos. Welcome back or welcome to our channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Mia and I make videos with my cousin Gia, hence the name of our channel, Gia and Mia. And for today's video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be doing a story time. If you couldn't tell by the title, I'll be doing a story time on how I moved out when I was 19. So if you're interested in that and you want to know more about what happened, then keep on watching. Okay, so some background information. It was the summer of 2020. It was August to be exact. And at this point in time, I was dating my boyfriend for almost 2 years. He had just applied for a job and knew that if he was going to be offered a position, he could have been relocated to anywhere really in the country. He did have some preferences on which states he would prefer to be at, but it wasn't a guarantee that he was going to stay in the state that we lived in or anywhere really close. So he was on vacation with his family. I was invited, but I couldn't go because I just got a dog, my puppy Lila, and I had to take care of her at my mom's house. So yeah, Lila was just a few months old at that point, and they were camping for 2 weeks in Maine. So I decided not to go so I could take care of Lila because she couldn't come with us, and I didn't want that responsibility to be on anybody else because she was my dog. So while they were on the trip to Maine, my boyfriend messaged me and said that he got the job and he found out where he was being relocated to, and it was in New Jersey. And if you guys don't know, I'm originally from New Jersey, but I lived the majority of my life in New York, and that's where we were at this point. And I said okay, and it was about 2 hours away from where we were currently. So on the phone, we talked about it for a bit, and he asked if it was something that I was comfortable with and okay with for him going to be living that far away. And I was starting my second year of college, but I was starting college at a new school, and I was fine with it. I told him that this was a great opportunity for him and that I couldn't stand in the way of that just because we were going to be 2 hours away from each other. And I said that we'd be able to make it work. So then he asked me to take on the responsibility of finding him a place to live because this was a very short turnaround. So he was in Maine for 2 weeks. He found out that he got the job offer about 1 week into being in Maine. And then this was the end of August. So it was like the last 2 weeks of August he was spending in Maine. And the first week of September, they were expecting him to start working. So it was a very quick turnaround. We didn't have much time to get this going. So, yeah, so I took on the responsibility to find the apartment. So I looked online and I sent him a couple of options that were in his budget and that were in a nice area and that were close to his location for his job. And we went back and forth for a while on it, and then he called me while he was in Maine and he asked if I would be interested in living with him. And I said yes, but I don't know, it was kind of complicated. So I called my best friend and we talked, and I was like, I don't know what to do because I haven't lived anywhere else besides my mom's house, right? I never went away for college. My first year I spent at college, I was at a community college, so I was commuting from my mom's house to the community college because I just wanted to save some money on my gen eds and do whatever I had to do. Both my older siblings went away to school, and I don't know, I never experienced that. And my second year that I was going to start at my current school that I'm at now, I wasn't planning on dorming there either because I still wanted to save some money. So she thought that this would be a great opportunity for me because I would only go there for a year. Mind you, I would still be in school because it was during COVID. So I had online classes anyway. All my classes were online for this semester. So she said, this is a perfect opportunity for you to not live in the house, to see what it's like to live out on your own and see what it's like to live with him. And I was like, you're right. But how am I gonna tell my mom, right? Like, how am I gonna tell her like that I'm like moving out for a year to live with him when I'm like 19 years old, right? Like, I'm 19. I just turned 19. I turned 19 in March. I've only been 19 for like 4 months. Like, what? So when I told my mom, I kind of beat around the bush a little bit. I didn't really tell her straight out that I was moving in with him. I kind of told her that I'd be back like every weekend, every other weekend. Like, I was just gonna spend most of my time with him and then spend some time at home. And that's not really how it turned out to be. Like, she was like okay with it at first. She wasn't fully comfortable with it, but she knew that I was gonna do what I wanted anyway. So I guess that's kind of why she was fine with it. But she did get kind of upset as time went on and I was spending the majority of the time there and not as much time as at home. She thought this felt more like a permanent situation than a temporary situation, which she was right. Me and my mom never really had the best relationship to begin with. We are very similar, so we butt heads a lot, and it kind of became unbearable to live with her at that point. I love her to death. I loved her even at that point, but it was very hard to live with her because we just constantly butt heads. So that was one of the main reasons why I was really looking forward to not living with her anymore. Obviously, I was super obsessed with moving in with my boyfriend, and I thought this was such a cool experience. We were so young. We are still so young. But I was also really looking forward to finally having my own space and not having to butt heads with my mom all the time. And our relationship now definitely has benefit from it because we are a lot closer than we were before. But it's still hard sometimes. Like, sometimes we just really know how to get on each other's nerves. But yeah, so anyway, we lived together. The plan was that I'd live with him from September when I started school until about December, January. And then I'd move back in with my mom for the spring, and I would live there while I would go to school because I thought I was going to have to be in person for school for the spring semester for 2021. But January came around and I found out that I didn't have to be in person. I could still be online because COVID was still kind of bad. So I decided to do that as well. So I stayed in New Jersey with him. I got a job at the restaurant that Gia was working at. I became really close friends with Jade, who you hear a lot about because she's Gia's best friend. So me and Gia got really close. I started going over to her house all the time and hanging out with Jade, and we would go out to brunch with our coworkers. And it was just a really fun atmosphere and environment to be in. Even though sometimes we hated our job, we had so much fun together, and honestly, I do miss it sometimes because it was really cool. It was really amazing opportunity to be there in a different place and experience a different environment for a while. I really liked it. Even though it was scary because I didn't really know anybody. I didn't have any of my friends there. The only family that I had that was close by was Gia and her parents and her siblings when they were there. My other family members lived kind of close, but they were kind of around like 30 to 45 minutes away, which isn't super far, but I'm not really that close with them, so it kind of wasn't really an option. And besides that, like if I wanted to go back to see my mom or my brother, it was around 2 hours away. So it was kind of scary to think about, like, oh my gosh, if something like happens, I can't like drive over to like my mom, you know. It was like a weird experience to be in. It was like, okay, like, sorry, my nose is running, I have allergies. It was like a weird experience. It was like, okay, like I really have to start thinking of ways to do stuff on my own, like be a little bit more grown, right? And yeah, it was interesting because I didn't pay for the rent. My boyfriend pays for the rent, but I would help pay for utilities. I'd pay like half for groceries, and we would like split some of the expenses for our dog, because at that point we only had one dog. So yeah, it was like kind of weird to be in like this adult like living experience but still be a teenager. And my mom was not happy about it when I didn't come back for my spring semester. She was really upset. She thought I was gonna come home and I didn't, and I really think even now she's still banking on the fact that I'll come back, and it's just not in my plans right now. But yeah, so then the end of my semester came, the end of my spring semester of 2021 came, and me and my boyfriend had to make a decision. I had to go back to school in person for fall of 2021. Fall 2021. I had to go back in person, and I either had to move back in with my mom, or if my boyfriend could transfer to a location that just opened up really close to my school in New York, then we could live together still. So we talked about it, and he decided that he was going to apply for the transfer so we could still be together, and he'd be closer to his family too, which was nice. And yeah, we would just be able to do that. So again, we were moving, which was kind of crazy. It was really, really crazy because like I ended school in May. June was my boyfriend's birthday. Then we went to Cape May together to celebrate, I think it was like our anniversary, or I don't know what we were celebrating, but we went to Cape May for something, I forget. And I'm awful. We went to Cape May, we came back. He left because he had to start work at the transfer place because we didn't get to move into our new apartment until July. So I was still moving stuff out of our apartment, but he moved in with his parents. He moved in with his parents for around a month so he could still work before I came to move in to the apartment, because we didn't get our apartment until like July 17th, and he started work the end of June. So it was kind of crazy. He started work, and then in April, we decided that we were gonna get a dog, which was Lily. This is like awful timing. All of it was like really bad timing. Everyone told us not to do it, but we did it anyway. So yeah, in April we decided to get our dog Lily. I went to go visit her in May, I think, early May it was. And then in June, I went to go pick her up with Gia and Jade. Kenny was already gone at that point. He started his job at the new transfer place in New York, and I was still in New Jersey, just finishing up my job, packing stuff up, living my best life. So I went with the girls to go pick up Lily, and then a couple of days later I went to my mom's to bring Lily and to bring Lila up so Kenny could see them and take care of them and meet Lily, and I would go to my brother's graduation because he was graduating that year. So then after that, we kind of just packed up the rest of the apartment and set off to live in New York again, but alone, which was kind of crazy. And yeah, so now we have been living in this apartment since July. We live with our 2 dogs, and yeah, it's nice. Honestly, strange enough, even though I've lived in this area, this county, the majority of my life, I feel more lonely here than I did living in New Jersey, which is kind of crazy. But although I'm super young and I'm not even 21 yet, and I moved out of my mom's house, I don't think I would change this experience because I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about my independence and what I want out of life. And I was able to experience a lot of things. I was able to just learn a lot about myself and grow in my relationship and experience a whole new side of things. And I definitely don't recommend it to people who aren't ready for it or can't afford it. But I'm lucky enough that my boyfriend was able to get a great job where he was able to afford us to be able to move out and him take me along for that ride. But yeah, it was definitely scary, but I don't regret it. I think it opened up a lot of doors for me and was able to experience a lot of things, which was really nice. And I think meaning me and my boyfriend, I think we were able to, I don't know, I think we liked the experience so much that we want to do it more often. Like we were talking about living in Tennessee for a year and maybe like Georgia, because we know that we don't really want to stay up north for a while. We kind of want to move down south after I'm done with school. So yeah, I don't know. I think it was kind of cool for us to become closer in our relationship, but it's also been kind of hard. Like the negative side of living with somebody is that like you kind of don't really get your own space. Like in my mom's house, I was able to have my bedroom and it was just my bedroom. So if I didn't want to talk to anybody or if I wanted to be alone, I could just hide away in my bedroom. But when you're living with somebody in a 1-bedroom apartment, I can't escape anywhere. Like like I'm always with him when he's like not at work, which he's always at work. So I do get a lot of alone time, but I don't know, it's different. Like your space isn't really your own space, it's like a shared space. And there's a lot of habits about people and like stuff that they like that you might not like, or stuff that they do that you might not, or stuff that they do that you might not particularly like them to do, like certain chores or laundry or whatever. So there's certain like bumps in the road that you have to get past, obviously. But besides that, I think it's been really great and I think it's been a lot of fun. And if you guys want to know more about my experience moving out at 19 or about my relationship, you guys could leave the comment down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new here and you don't know our schedule, or if you just forgot, I make videos every Wednesday. Gia makes videos every Friday. We make a video together every Sunday. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and click that bell notification so you don't miss a video from us. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.